Here we go. Gotta find my slides. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Do, do, do. Knock, knock. Hello. Can you guys still hear me all right? Oh, I gotta press this button here. Welcome to the September Omaha Astronomical Society meeting here in hybrid form, the Kame Farm, September 3rd. So for those of us joining us remotely, if you've got headphones, you probably already have them on. I think you've already heard this spiel before. And please mute. If you want to be seen, you can mute your video. I think Paul chose that earlier this evening. You can do side by side if you'd like. You can raise your hand at the icon, but we're going to try to monitor both at the same time here. Voting will be interesting. So do we have any guests? The 11 people are online, Kelly. So one of them is me twice, so. I don't see anybody I don't recognize. I just heard a car door. If I talk slow, maybe they'll walk up to the door. I don't think we have any guests tonight. Everyone knows our membership rules, right? We're all members of the Astronomical League and get access to AstroPark and all those wonderful things. We have a wonderful telescope loan program, and that's Stella. Good stuff. Did anybody use AstroPark? I can hear if you're online, I'll wait a second. I'm sure somebody was out there, but I don't know for sure. So, no. Everybody's going back to school or getting done with their vacations. I don't see Rodney online. I don't think we have any awards coming out. Is everybody familiar with our awards program? Yeah. No? Oh, well, in the Stella, there's a page. There's a page in the Stella that talks about all the different observing programs for the Astronomical League. And each observing program has a slightly different requirements to meet for to getting an award. So if you complete those, turn them in, and then you'll get like a certificate, and some of them you'll get a pin as well. So those are pretty nice to have. I have paperwork. Yes. I think OAS has seven or eight master level observers. Yeah.
And probably several more who should be, but never did.
Yeah, like I've got some stuff I should turn in, but it's not master level. It's more outreach I need to turn in. It's there, but I just have to turn it in. Observing chair. Okay, so now give me a sec. I gotta pull up your. Can people still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
It's kind of fuzzy, not focused.
Give it a sec. It's got to catch up with the pixels. How about now?
It's getting there.
Still soft.
Okay. Wash your glasses.
Well, here we are, September 2021. Saturn and Jupiter had their oppositions in August. and they're still pretty brilliant up in the sky. You can see them in the east, and they're pretty hard to miss unless it's cloudy. Venus in the west, it's going to be for those who want to have a nice look at the moon and Venus together on September 9th. And on the 8th of September, Mercury is near the moon. Of course, Mercury is pretty low in the horizon. So I would say I would use those days of the 8th and the 9th to try and find Mercury, because Venus and moon will help you guide your way to Mercury. Neptune reaches its opposition on the 14th of September, but it is more of a telescopic or a binocular object in dark skies. So those are the few highlights for planets. We also have the new moon on September 6th. That is Monday. It'll be very interesting to see the crescent moon in the next few days as it's the waxing crescent. And full moon on September the 20th. We also have the autumn equinox on the 22nd. And for the early birds out there who want to get up before dawn, for a couple of hours before dawn, if you're in a particularly dark sky, you should be able to see the zodiacal light. If you want to know where to look for, it's in the east. And for now, I think it said between Cancer and Gemini. Those would be the two constellations, but it's in the east. So those are a few highlights for this month. And I think the next slide is just a picture of the Milky Way that I took at Cairn Farm last month.
There's a lot of happy people. Because it was just asked right before we started, when we got here, if anybody had taken any pictures.
I have quite a few, but this is one that I put up as a slide.
Nice.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonali. Outreach, Steve.
Yeah. Can you put up that list that John sent you?
Well, I've got it split up into several different slides because I couldn't
okay.
put all of them. So
those two are the only two I need.
okay.
Okay, well, yeah. Yep. So the immediate outreach is our usual second Tuesday of the month, Astronomy in the Park at Lake Serinsky. It's the 14th of September, 7 to 11. It's the soccer field that's east, and the entrance is off 156th Street. I know there's some new members who have telescopes, and so I hope that they can join us. That'd be nice. And PLV outreach is Pavilion La Vista Public Schools, and there are some Monday, Wednesday sessions. So here is a list of Monday sessions and the people who have agreed to help. So I'll talk about the first one just as an example. So here's an elementary school called Ashbury Golden. Actually, it's two elementaries. Together, they provide 57 students. And the way Papillion is working this is that they bus those 57 middle school kids out to Camp Carol Joy Holling, which is east of Ashland. And then they have activities all day. It's a day camp now instead of overnight. They have daytime activities, and then astronomy, the astronomy segment starts at about 7:30 till 9. At 9 o'clock, they load those 57 campers on the bus and return them to their home schools. We deal with the 57 kids or 63 or however many there are. We do deal with them kind of in three groups. So let's just pick 60 as a round number. That would be three groups of 20. And so a group of 20 comes out, and if we have 2 or 3 telescopes, those 20 students kind of split up between the 3 telescopes and then trade around, so they visited all 3. And so we get them just for a short amount of time. And then another 20 group, a group of 20 comes, a different group out of this 57, and then a third group. And then before you know it, they're getting to the buses. It's been difficult for us because it's been too light to do much astronomy, but it's getting better all the time. And now we can see Jupiter and Saturn pretty handily, and it's just going to get nothing but better. So normally I'd say we need at least, as a bare bones minimum, 2, 3 is better. And if we have more than that, better yet. So here you can see September 8th, there are 3 people. Wednesday of that week, we have 3 people. Monday of the following week, 3 people. 3 people Wednesday of that week. You want to show the next slide? Then we've got a couple of Wednesdays, a week with just Wednesdays. And it looks like the 22nd, that meeting on Wednesday, we need some help with.
And the 27th.
And the 27th, I've signed up for that since you received this from John. So there are 2 of us on the 27th. And then it goes for a couple of meetings in October. I will not be in town for those October meetings. And so John's going to have some people help him out. And if any of you are willing, we'd sure like to do that. John Larson has a way to do that easily online. You want to put a plug in for that, John?
Sure. On the slide, there's a URL. It's is.gd/OAS outreach. If you have your phone, you can hold it up to the QR code and use the camera, and then it'll scan that code and take you to the page to sign up as well.
Is it in the cell?
No, but the phone number information went to, we sent a separate email last month, separate from the Stella, that went through all this as well. Yeah.
I would say to everyone regarding outreach with Papillion La Vista Public Schools that you really don't have to have extensive knowledge of the night sky. And the young people are amazingly grateful. And so if you come out to try this, you'll be surprised. They're just thrilled to see anything. And they tell you frequently before they board the bus, it was the best thing in their life so far.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that some new people especially can help out for a couple of those spots where it's thin. John will probably be requesting via email.
Yeah.
And for those who did not look at the QR code or were unable to do that, the Discord OAS server has the link to the outreach sign up form as well.
Oh, yeah, that's correct. Or email John.
Okay. That's it. I haven't added up the numbers, but they look like previous year's numbers. And for the last few years, we've set things up so that 1,000 middle school children in Papillion La Vista Public Schools have had a chance to look through a telescope. It probably will be the same this year.
And it's to get there, it's just like going to Mahoney. You just keep going farther on the highway.
Yes.
Going out. So
Yep.
It's not unlike going to Mahoney for the monthly star parties that many OAS people participated in. So for me, I think it was like a 35 minute drive. So that's not bad. I'm on the north side of town. Council Bluffs got to be a bit farther.
Okay, that's it for the outreach report.
Thank you, sir. Stafford. You can come up here and talk and, can everybody hear him in the room if he speaks? It's right there.
Yeah, why don't you? It was a pretty peaceful month once again for the scope loan.
Angle it towards you.
Does that sound?
Perfect.
Okay, start again here. Been a pretty calm month for the scope loan program again. Only thing that went out recently was one of the 10-inch Dobsonians, the one with 3 mil base. And we actually got a couple of donations to the program. One is a smaller go-to scope from Sonali, which looks like I can put that on the inventory probably for the next meeting. And then we have this 8-inch Schmidt Cassegrainian. It's a totally electric computerized ETX light switch. The good news is it's in wonderful condition. The bad news is it's deader than the doornail right now because I'm trying to get the firmware updated on it. And until I do, it's sitting rather comfortably in a side room at my house, kind of doing nothing. Does power up though, sort of, and you can use it manually, sort of, but I'm not quite ready to put that out into the wild yet. Meanwhile, if anybody's got a mini SD card, not a micro, not a conventional, this is a very fussy scope. It can only take those kind of cards for the firmware updates. And it has to be a small capacity on top of that because state of the art, when this scope was made, it was a 2 gigabyte maximum. I've had a couple of offers for 4. I don't think I can con it into doing it, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of micros, but I don't have any minis. Okay. Okay.
512 sounds good. So anyway, that's about all we have. The other kind of a thought piece for going forward is we're getting quite a pile of 6-inch scopes. I think the herd needs to be thinned a little bit here. So I don't know whether we want to cover that new business or just keep it in the back of our mind that I can decide which ones need to find an alternate home. So.
Yeah, we have 4 6s and 3 8s. 4 8s.
So anyway, that's it.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Stafford. Program chair.
I uploaded program drive, the folder on the.
Oh, okay.
presentation.
Okay.
Are we doing program?
We'll get to it in a second.
That's okay.
Okay. But this is where you have a chance to give your teaser of what's coming up.
Okay, well,
Because we sometimes have tool times and then we break into the program.
okay, so, program for tonight, I was trying to get a few other people on, along like I reached out to, and I reached out to staffers, folks, very last minute, but with school and vacations coming up, they were all kind of in education. So they'll be pushed back to some other months. So, I figured that tonight would be a good night for, the objective-based observing, and we kind of talked about some things earlier that I think would come up really well. Of people who have observed before, not filled out their worksheets, not submitted to get a Nifty Build certificate, so kind of how to go about doing that in a better way and in a simpler, easier, more structured way. So that's the teaser.
Okay. Cool. All right, I gotta remind folks. Next meeting is at UNO. October 1st. It'll be a hybrid UNO and Zoom, and it is also the election night special, as they would say on Monty Python. So.
Are there any rules and regulations for UNO?
The rules are such that we have a maximum of 65 people, and masks are required. We're still working on, there's some paperwork that has to be completed, but other than that, we're hoping it should be fine. So,
We need to register to be in the room.
It's a good question. I thought about doing Eventbrite. Have you seen Eventbrite before? It's just free tickets, you know. I did not get it into the Stella this time, unfortunately, when I wanted to. But at least the meeting information is in this month's Stella for next month. Our numbers over 2019 were anywhere from 48 to 63 people in the meeting. So I think we're going to be good. Plus, I think it's going to be a slow ramp up to get to it. So, I mean, we shouldn't turn anybody away, but
Especially if you have Zoom in addition.
yeah, for doing both. Yeah, exactly.
Bill raised his hand.
I can't see Bill, so I'm gonna stop my screen share. And
Hey, John, with the limit of 65 in the room, is there any chance that we can, if we have more than 65, that we can run an overflow into the room next door?
I don't think so, because of the understanding of the contract, or part of the contract that was given to me, that it was a maximum for the group of 65. Is the way that UNO gave it to me.
Okay,
I
just not the next door room.
Yeah. It would be nice.
But I'm there for a different group next door. Sorry.
The AOS,
I just.
Astronomers
AOS.
Omaha Observers.
AOS.
John, do we need to do something like Eventbrite just in case? Let's say people decide it's an in-person meeting and are more excited about doing it than Zoom. And if we
Yes.
more people show up, it might be hard to say, okay, now we're going to turn some of you away.
Yeah, I definitely would still want to be doing that setup.
Yeah.
Back to school has been pretty hectic, so I did not get a chance to get into it. But I think, yeah, I'll probably send a separate email again, like I did for the outreach, out to all the members. So talking about it and announcing, you know, being back in person again. Is that kind of email all right? It's not a, do people have any thoughts about getting extra emails in? It's not an issue. I'm not spamming people's mailbox by having 2 emails from OAS a month. Okay. Okay.
John, I wonder if for this meeting, maybe just an RSVP would be a kindness that members could do for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they were planning on attending, then just let you know.
I think you need more than just an RSVP.
Yeah. The Eventbrite works pretty well. We've used it a lot for brain exchange events. I mean, you can say it's a no cost thing. And then, because we did all of our Saturday programming like that. So parents would bring their kids in and stuff like that. So I am familiar with it, and it's not really that bad from a operational standpoint. RSVP I'd have to keep track of in a spreadsheet, whereas Eventbrite I can just download the spreadsheet.
If anybody has trouble, to let us know.
Oh yeah, if they're having problems with Eventbrite, then we could help them out with it.
We'll get you registered.
Yeah, that's a good point, Kelly. Thank you.
Personally, I don't think 65 is going to be an issue. Not
so.
at all. It might become an issue in January, you know, or after several meetings,
Mhm.
but at this time, I don't think 65 is going to be an issue.
I don't think so either, but it's good to get people used to it. Just like in the event that there's more,
Well,
just so we know.
but doing an RSVP or Eventbrite or whatever, that's more work for you, and I don't know that's a necessary work. I don't think that would be necessary.
Okay.
And our biggest meeting normally is Christmas meeting anyway.
Yeah, now that one,
Mm,
maybe.
Yeah.
And that's the food issue right there.
No, my wife wants to know. I will be there. You want me to bring it over?
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we can, I don't wanna push it away, but I'll do, let me write some notes, right?
We don't have to worry about attendance at the December meeting until. Yeah.
October,
After the
November.
October.
Yeah, yeah, and we don't know what the rates will be either, in the terms of,
Right.
they might change their mind, so we'll wait and see.
We don't know what's gonna happen.
So, and one, and,
Close entire.
right, and the way I put it in the Stella, I didn't put December in the Stella, because I said like fall schedule, because, you know, I don't know what December is gonna look like, so.
Wise.
We don't have any tool times tonight, do we?
The swap meet.
The swap meet? I wish we had a portable camera. We could just say, hey, or we could lift the tablet and go over there.
No, that's all right. Don't worry. It's okay.
Okay, so program wise,
It's just on the hard drive.
right, but I want to see you on video and have audio.
And right there.
Okay,
Go under program.
this is how hot dogs are made, people. Oh, you're not seeing it at home, but okay. This one right here. Okay.
Wish you could sit where you're sitting.
Yeah, that's true.
Reset in front of that. We can see her.
Master control. Okay, let's see. Video share sound. There, present.
Are we gonna take a break?
Oh, yeah. Let's take a break and stretch. What do you say?
Excellent.
5
5 minutes?
minutes? Okay, so 8:06.
Everybody can check out the swap meet. Yeah.
Oh, I think she has. We can pause now, Sonali. Zoom is being a little. Thank you. Okay. Do you want to sit here?
Sure, if it helps them hear.
Yeah, because the mic is right there. I loaned my mother my meeting room mic for her Zooms with my cousins, so that's my next best one I've got.
That was nice. It's fancy. Do I press this to advance?
Yes.
My mic. Yeah, this works for now. Okay, so based from our last meeting where I sent around that piece of paper, kind of gathering some ideas for presentation topics and ideas. The one at the very top from Bill was objective-based observing, and I was actually kind of like, oh, it kind of fits tonight because of what we were talking about earlier. You were saying, John, you have papers of observation notes, but maybe you haven't submitted them yet. Maybe there's some of you out there that just aren't sure where to start. So I figured that Bill's idea was kind of a great way to start off with this, and then for the next programs, hopefully we can get some other people in here so you don't have to see my face every month. So just basically you pick a star, a star, a nebula, a cluster, a galaxy, and just start from there. So objective-based observing.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
I bet you I have to make that
Okay.
active.
Gotcha. So we can do that. So there's the what, there's the who, there's a why, and there's a how to this. So I'm going to break it down very easily. There's start simple and trying to keep it simple. So we start every observation night before sunset. So I'll kind of take you through the nighttime, and as we get to the end of the night and to the dawn, we'll figure out kind of the whole process of objective-based observing. And there's two ways to look at this. There's objective observations, which is just seeing something and taking it as what it is, what you see, what you smell, hear, taste, touch, writing something down like that. And then there's also objective-based observing, as in you have a goal, you have an aim, you have something that you're trying to accomplish that evening. And what's cool with this, you can kind of combine them both, because there's such a thing as subjective observing, which is kind of what I like to do. I just throw up my telescope right before sunset, and I'm like, I think I've looked at that part of the sky before, and I remember Saturn was there. I like looking at Andromeda Galaxy. I'm just going to guesstimate and kind of fiddle around with things. I don't really have a goal or an aim in mind, but that means I'm not really going to maybe become better at observing the night sky. I'm not going to become better at using my telescope, among other things. I'm not going to get a really cool certificate and a badge. So I feel like the objective-based observing is a really beneficial way to do a lot of things with your interest in astronomy. For this type of observing, this happens before sunset. The subjective-based observing is what happens at sunset or afterwards. You're scrambling. So if you can plan ahead a little bit, it's going to pay off. Is it okay if I click this link?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, oh, okay. So this is a little example from a research paper. In college, I had to do this, and then for researchers, hopefully this pulls up, for researchers in the field, astronomy and physics, if you want to have time on a telescope, you have to submit a proposal. You're kind of bidding for your time on a telescope. So with this one, this is an example. You can see their aims at the very top. You know, they're trying to promote aspects of solar astronomy and provide that information. You can see their objectives right below that. Very clear, precise. You don't have to get as scientific or detailed as this, but you do want to eventually kind of find out why exactly you're doing this and kind of maintain that passion that you have for astronomy. And for those of you at home online, you can take a further look at this. And then also the slides for this are on the OAS Google Drive. And
But we'll have to get it to the general membership.
Yep.
Yeah.
so we can get it to everyone else at a later time, so you can kind of look at these and just get an idea of how they do that. So that's sunset. We're starting right before nightfall hits, and kind of preparing ourselves. All right, now we've hit dusk. So who can do this? Who can do objective-based observing? Well, all of you can, if you're interested in astronomy, that is. If you're not interested in astronomy, maybe find someone who is and borrow their telescope or have them do it for you. Okay, so who or what can you look to for guidance? Well, Nina Baker, it has some great materials that she's put together for especially the Nebraska Star Party and that time of year.
I inherited it.
You hear and hear out.
I am the chairperson for the observing challenges for NSP. And I have made a couple of them, but I inherited this whole thing, so, yeah.
But you're the one supplying it and you know telling everyone, the one that's handing it out and you know
I
helping
wanna
people
take all of
along. I'm giving you credit tonight. But she has a lot of great worksheets that they've built up for kind of our area here and the time of year that the Star Party goes on. And if you look on the Stella, there's that whole page and a half or something of a bunch of links of all sorts of observing programs from the Astro League, among other things. And so you can click on any of those and you can go from eyesight to binocular to telescope. And what I suggest is starting at one of the most basic ones based on the equipment that you have. You can also look online. You can create your own. You can reach out to fellow friends and observers in the group here. I know most of you are observing and have done something before. Maybe you've gotten a little certificate and a badge before. So there's a lot of resources out there and people who have experienced this and who have done this sort of observing with a plan. And who is this for? This question, who, is more asking of are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for someone else? Are you doing it to earn something out of it? So that brings us to the objectives, or objective, your goals, and the observations themselves. So you see 3 columns here. The first column on the left is more so kind of gaining knowledge. The middle column is you're trying to gain some recognition, some object, or get your name out there. And the third one is just kind of like an outreach, working with people in general. So looking at the first column at the very top, if you have the goal of improving your skills with your telescope, that's a great one. I need to do that and learn more about my lenses, learn more about the filters that I have. We also have binoculars, so you can use all of those. You can also learn about the night sky, the constellations, the stars and the nebula, what's in each area and part of the sky, just so when you're out observing just with your bare eyes, at least I'm looking at Sagittarius tonight, and I know looking in that direction, there's a ton of stuff over there, including kind of towards the center of our galaxy. And you can prepare yourself for maybe more advanced equipment. You can use the astronomy telescope loan out program and try out bigger and better things, and at least you have some experience doing that. The middle column, like I said, is kind of trying to obtain something physical, material based off of your observations. So those nice little things you get from the Astronomy League and the recognition, that's pretty cool. And you can get your name maybe on a list in the our OAS Hall of Fame, and we can become known as the most observationally active group in the United States, something like that. You can step into a new realm of observation. So if you've never done astrophotography before, this is, I guess, good practice, because with astrophotography, you want to have a plan together to make sure that you're up at the right time, you've got the right stuff, because it takes a lot of preparation, I'm sure, for all you astrophotographers out there to prep for that. Or you could delve into comets and meteors and following those. And say with all of those observations, you could maybe eventually submit it to some research paper. A ton of astronomers out there who may or may not consider themselves amateurs and or professionals on their own have submitted their findings of new meteors, of comets, of all sorts of new things in the galaxy and outside of the galaxy that they're just doing with their telescopes at home. So there's all of that. Now, the third column, if you're just doing it to kind of have fun, but still learn some things, maybe impress someone, your dog may be interested, I'm not sure. I don't know if the dogs can see that far, but maybe you want to involve your family members, your kids, some cousins or friends that come over from bonding time. And then, of course, we have all the public outreach. The more that you can have that experience doing it on your own, when you go do the outreach with kids and other groups or go to the star party, you have all of that you can show people, and it's that much easier to whip around the night sky and interact with people. Questions so far? Comments, ideas, additions? Okay. So any other objectives you could have? You can come up with your own reasons for doing it. This is another link. This brings up something that it's a lunar exploration objectives. This is a really long document. I'm just going to show the first page, but each column, it goes from a title of kind of what they're trying to observe to like a one-line goal. And then on the far right side, you'll see an X in a certain column, whether it's scientific knowledge, public outreach, engagement. So they kind of break it down into those categories as well once this loads up. So you have exploration, preparation, scientific knowledge, human civilization, economic expansion. So this is high-level research, what they're trying to do with exploration, and this is a mission, or these are observations they're trying to do with the telescope. But same concept, you're trying to do something and learn something from it. Okay,
So
yes.
that last part, Jordan, was that something that you would experience when you were in school, in college? When you were using the telescopes up on Mauna Kea, is that kind of what they were working from?
Yes,
Something like that?
you needed to submit something very detailed of why your research was important enough for them to allow you to have 5 minutes with the telescope. And then,
You had to do like extensive work to get your hands or your time with a multi-million-dollar scope.
I know, they just
Gee,
didn't
really?
give it to me. I mean, 20-year-old, come on. What else? What can I do with it? I can't even, yeah. Yeah, it's,
That's neat.
so this is much easier. You don't have to put as much work in, I think. So, then finally we kind of get to moonrise, or you could say star rise. It's just saying this is when the stars really start to come out. This is the how you're going to go about doing it. This is probably the longest time you will spend planning all of this, but it will pay off. Most important thing, again, to remember if you're just starting off, is to start simple. If you've been doing it for a while, maybe give yourself a challenge. Do something that you're not comfortable with. Most people, I think, will start with Messier, just because they're probably the easiest things to find. Those were some of the first things that people saw through telescopes. But maybe you want to do deep sky clusters, or double stars, or double stars, something like that. So my suggestion, maybe pick one area of the sky, or one type of object, or one list. So either start in a constellation and see what you can find there, or just pick clusters or nebula, start there, or again, start with one of the lists that the Stella provides. And then from that, create your own list, do your own research on it. You know, you want to know what Messier 51 is. You don't know what it is, don't know what it looks like. How do you know if you're even looking at the right thing? If you don't know what the magnitude is, if you don't know, how big it is in the sky with a different lens, you won't know if you have even the right equipment to view it. I can see the Andromeda galaxy with my eye, but I can't see really any other galaxies. So if I try to do galactic observations with my eyes, I'm not going to get very far. So the details are very important. You want to get as much down as you can right now before you go out and observe. And then you want to start planning your evening. So get your star charts together. I like to highlight the things on my star charts, and I like to make notes and circle it, and then find things around those that I can use as guides. Your first, time it so you know what your first observation is going to be. Then your next one, based upon when things are rising in the sky, when it's the peak time to view it, and then find a location. I think someone else wrote down on the topic idea list, where can we observe within 50 miles of here? Well, we got Astro Park. That's within 50 miles, right? Bleakwater. We have Lake Sarinsky. We have Mahoney. You can try your backyard. We have here as well. You can find the location. It just depends on, I guess, what you're trying to observe. And then you want to select a few dates, because the weather is the weather in Nebraska. Is the weather. So you will never know what's coming up. I didn't know we were supposed to have rain last night, and we had rain. So check the weather periodically, find a few dates with backups, and just make sure you're over prepared. It's kind of like Abraham Lincoln. You spend 99% of the time prepping ahead of time. That final 1% of actually doing it is going to be so much easier. All right, nighttime, we're getting to the observations. You're finally there, but you want to make sure that you've got all your essentials, all your equipment packed. It's like prepping for the star party. You're not going to go up to the star party without a tent, without a telescope, without bug spray, without a red flashlight, and a bunch of other stuff. That's just why. So make sure you have all your equipment. You've got a list, double check it. If you are going to spend the whole night there, get some sleeping stuff in your car. Outfit it so you are prepared and you have everything you need, including extra batteries, socks, everything. And arrive early. Don't arrive like Jordan. Jordan arrives at sunset and sets up her telescope last minute. But make sure you set up all your materials, lay it out nice and clean so you're not shuffling through things. Double check all of that. Keep an eye on the weather, and just kind of take your time to appreciate what's going on around you. That's also very important. Don't forget just where you're at in the first place and just appreciate life and nature. And when you're observing, if things don't go according to plan, that's okay. Things will happen. If you need to skip over something, that's fine. You can, that's why you have your extra dates. And then, you know, just kind of take breaks every once in a while. And my mom had this idea today where we like to write down a lot of our things, right? And that's a good thing to have if you're doing the type of observation where you need to have a drawing of it, but maybe also bring a voice recorder and record your thoughts of what you're seeing at that time. And that way you can go back and double check your notes later, which I thought was a great idea. I never
There's
thought
some
of that.
voice recorder apps on your phones too. You could use those.
Yeah. So be resourceful.
I think of that because for me to try and write anything down in the dark and keep using the red light, I can't see what I'm writing.
So good idea. And so you've got your observations done. Now the sun's coming back up. You're done with everything. Now you still have things you got to do. You got to make sure that this was all worth it. Collect your notes, make sure all the markings are clear, finish your thoughts, you know, everything that you maybe recorded on that voice recorder, kind of double check with the things, the observations you did. Maybe tell someone about it. Just be proud that you did this. And again, if you didn't finish it all, that's okay. You've still got time. There's no rush. If you're trying to submit it to something, make sure that it's in the correct format that they want. Usually with those links, I'm sure they'll provide you with what they want and they'll tell you, so it shouldn't be too hard. And after you finish all that, after you submit it and then, or you're done and you put it away, just take a break and then come back and think about it and say to yourself, did you like this? Was it too easy or too hard? What would I do different next time? And, you know, if you want to do it again, where do you want to go with it next? And my suggestion for this and a lot of other areas in life is just use a notebook, not only to record your observations, but your thoughts of what you liked about this. So then you can go back later and understand where you were at, and then maybe come back 5 years from now and look at how far you've come.
More bug spray.
Always more bug spray. Bug spray and the red flashlights. If I could always have that too. Batteries, flashlight, yeah, and bug spray. So summing it all up, just kind of one more look at it. You have step 1, just plan ahead. Step 2, decide what you want to actually observe. Start simple. Step 3, collect all your equipment and the necessary things to actually do it. Find out where and when you want to do it, and then finally go do it, and then figure out the steps, which one you want to do afterwards. And kind of tying this all back way to the beginning, taking the time to explore the sky on your own will actually benefit you in the long run, not just in the broader sense of life, but when you're interacting with everyone else in the club and interacting with people that you know and you want to share this with, you're going to become that much more comfortable with the night sky and your equipment. So just kind of pick a star and start from there. That's all I've got.
I got a little comment. What's the magazine that we all get, like quarterly?
Reflector.
So I noticed that, and I've read in the past that anybody that has received any type of award will show up in the reflector. Which I think is kind of good because that is nationwide. Omaha Astronomy Club. I saw Lou in there a couple times for. But it was weird.
So did I.
You always get excited when you see your name in print.
Yes.
Can I make input? Yeah. What I really enjoy is the social involvement of the group. And when I was new and inexperienced, I'm better now, but I still like to sit up next to somebody who knows more than I do. And I have found, especially with this group, that we can all say, "Ooh, did I get 51 in here? Is this right?" And Louis will come and look and he'll say no. But you get that, yes, that is. I mean, John Johnson has done that. John has done that with me. Stafford has done that with me. To have, because you found something up there you're not sure because it looks different in your scope than it does in all the picture books. And so it's nice to have that experienced person looking at your scope too and saying, yeah, you got it, you got it. So pairing yourself up that way can be very helpful. And I never ask anyone else. I just do it, but everyone has always been grateful and helps out. And I feel the group is real nice that way. So if you feel inexperienced, just set up next to somebody who knows more than you do.
Can I expand on that too?
Yes, please.
If you're scared about outreach, it's the same situation. Set up to somebody else, listen to what they say. Because in my early days, it's like, okay, what objects are they looking at? What are some facts? And I can hear them talking about some facts, and I remember those facts. So next time I can use the same facts that they may be talking to the public about, and I can reuse those. So, listening, even if you're out there to kind of get to know the ropes, it's a fun experience, and it's also knowing that everyone's out there to help, and you can just pick up so much by being in the groups for those things.
And I've had people correct me.
Louis corrected.
Yeah, that's really, oh, okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm not more pleasant than my friend. One you need to watch out for. No, that ain't right. Ryan did that to instructors.
Hey, John,
Yeah.
I've got something I can add, but I can't really hear the discussion very well. And so
Sorry.
well, you're doing the best you can. So it goes along with what Jordan was saying. I don't know if everyone will be able to hear this or not. So Jordan, it's interesting when you say pick a star, that really resonates with me because that's what I do. But I play a game with it. And so here's the game. I use an iPad mini running Sky Safari to control my telescope. So I've gotten to the point that what I like to do is maybe just pick out a constellation and just pick a random star. And then, because it's a retina display and the colors are so faithful, I start guessing about the stellar class. Is this an A star? Is this an O star? Is this a G star? What kind of star is this? What stellar class? And then, of course, Sky Safari has an information setting. You can find out. You select it. You look at it through your telescope and try to decide what the stellar class is, just based on the color. And then you can find out using Sky Safari if you're right. And I found by playing this little game with myself that I've gotten fairly good at just finding a star in my telescope and being pretty close about the class, the stellar class. And then if you can do that consistently, then you can also take another step. Well, where would that be on a Hertzsprung-Russell diagram? What would the surface temperature be about? Just making guesses. So I use Sky Safari for those little challenge games like that a lot. I use it to find things in the night sky, but I also use it as a challenge game for myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Cool. One microphone to another.
Yeah. Okay. That's my 2 cents worth.
Well, thank you. Should we take another break? Thank you, Jordan, for presenting tonight. Nope. Thank you for the clap there, Steve. I can see that on your screen. Okay, so let's see, 8:45, then we'll get into the business meeting. Okay.
Sorry. I was hoping I could do this and still, I wanted to see people and the stuff at the same time, but. Well, now we're gonna have a record of me messing with it. All right. We'll switch back. Okay. I needed to get the Stella up for the minutes from last month. So please bear with me. I need to pull that up. Come up there, Zoom. I know it's terribly interesting watching me click and double click.
You are on pages I never ever saw. Yeah, I didn't want to know too much. I'm amazed.
On my desk at home, I've got 3 cameras, and one of them is a desktop camera, so I could show the kids stuff with my, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have to do this.
I should have preloaded it in the break. Did I go too far? No, there it is. All right, so minutes from last month. So we were here not too long ago at Game Farm on the 14th of August. It was combined live and virtual meeting. There were 40 members present and 2 were on Zoom. There were no guests. At least 4 people had visited Astro Park. We talked about telescope loan program and access Dark Side Park, Astro Park, etc. Let's see. There was the Lake Zarinsky event on the 10th. There was a Loadsing Gardens event on the 28th. I'm assuming that went well. Waiting for the chime in. We mentioned the Papillion La Vista schools. We talked about it again this evening as well. There were no new awards given out. Sonali did a brief presentation on the August observing events. That is a typo. So I did not catch that. Page 19. Talk about Perseids, things like that. Stafford talked about telescope observing loan program. Jordan talked about all the programs that are coming up and asked people to share for stories about the Nebraska Star Party. She'll discuss a list of possible speakers and topics for future programs. Secretary's report for the meeting minutes of July were prepared by Dana and briefly read by Diana. Motion to accept the minutes was made by Tom and seconded by Nina. Motion was passed. Treasurer's report for July. Rodney was not in attending, so we did not get a Astro Park report. Old business, the youth coordinator position. New business, Alcon virtual convention. It's on the 20th. Location September meeting was discussed. We were going to have it at Cane Farm as we were voted on. Nina proposed an honorarium to give Cane Farm for allowing to hold 2 meetings here. The motion was seconded and the motion was passed. We need to decide on that. A motion to close the business meeting was made by Tom and seconded by Bill. Motion was passed and so on and so forth. Does anybody have any corrections to the minutes other than the one I saw? Nope. Okay. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as read and amended, say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't do motion to accept the minutes. Apologies. Tom,
So moved.
Nina,
As amended.
as amended. Thank you.
But you already have the vote.
Yes, I already have the vote.
A little out of order. That's all.
We can edit the video.
Just flip the video. You're-
Okay. Treasurer's report.
Well, we had,
Oh, I didn't see you there, Mike. Cool.
okay, I've been hiding. 299.08 in dues, $25 cash donation, 34.22 Amazon Smile. Total for the month of 358.30 income. And expenditures were 150 for Astro Park mowing twice, 166.39 for food and supplies for the picnic meeting that we had last month. $200 High Point gift certificate for the Astro League meeting door prize, for a total expenditures last month of $516.39. The account balance now is $14,598.57.
Thank you, Mike. I don't see the vice president tonight. And hopefully this comes up this fall. I think with COVID, it's still a bit of a up in the air thing. So
Do we just need to extend that time?
yeah, let's say spring.
Forward to spring,
Yeah,
if that's agreeable to everybody. I don't think we're gonna be able to do anything like this year.
no. Everyone okay with that? Okay, thank you. So the winner of the Alcon Virtual Door Prize was Frank Kenny, and he had emailed me to say thank you. And please thank the Omaha Astronomical Society for your kind gift. I attended Alcon 2019 in Minneapolis and enjoyed this year's virtual convention, including your presentation on the OAS. I'm a longtime member of the Milwaukee Astronomical Society, established in 1932. Wonder how much contact our founders may have had with your progenitor in the OAS, the Great Plains Astronomy Club, which I believe you said was established in 1938. I'm also a more casual remote member of the Minnesota Astronomical Society, but very active with the SLU Remote Observatory and Outreach community. Again, please thank the OAS for their kind gift, Frank Kenny. So that was nice.
Very nice.
He was pretty excited.
Did many people attend virtually to the
It was hard to figure because some of them were on YouTube, some were on another one.
It was Facebook and YouTube and I think,
Astronomy group did.
right. So they were using Explore Scientific's setup already.
right?
So they just used all their transmission methods.
Uh-huh.
And they were using random numbers to choose the winners. And every so often they would update the maximum number for the random generator. So like the highest I saw was 847. So that's out of the registrations.
Okay.
So he would put the number, Chuck would put the number in and then he'd do the random and pull up the name. So yeah, that's a lot of people.
Nobody knew what their number was.
Yeah,
She did, nobody else did.
Right.
Terry. Yeah.
So the first page was easy to find for her.
Yeah, so it always take a second. But all the recordings are up on the YouTube for Explore Scientific. So if there were some great presentations. So if you want to catch one, I don't think that they're chapter indexed, but there was a schedule for the days that they had times. And so you could kind of extrapolate it.
Well, it says part one, day one, part two,
Day two,
part
yeah.
two, or day two, part one is the way they broke it down.
Yeah. So each day was split in half. Because I was getting, when I saw the schedule, I'm like, boy, these times are at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And someone said, well, is that in the morning? It's like, no. That's at night, because if you look, it says 3 o'clock. They're not giving door prizes at 3 a.m. I mean, I applaud our astronomical members of staying up late, but
Yeah, the first night is 11:30 our time, and everything after that was 10, so that was 11 their time.
wow. Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I hopped on just after 8 on Friday night, and it was like I'm in the same room as all the presenters. So I'm just being quiet, and I've got my slides ready to go. And then this is sort of like, Johnny, you there? Yes. And then I was on.
Oh, okay.
And so I did the presentation, and then they called the name, and then they went on to the next club. So they were keeping their times as best they could. It did go like 12 minutes long from the previous presenter before I was on, but that's the extra float, right? It might go longer in the end of the day, but I think I even got a nice microphone comment in Zoom. As usual.
No, that's John. Okay. She goes, can you hear me? No, I'm not on.
Okay. New business. We voted on it last month. We did not agree on an amount. The honorarium.
How much?
Mhm. Oh, we did? All right. You trust me. I got it.
Yeah, you got a $200 whatever it is, discretionary.
Discretionary funds that you can do.
Thank you for reminding me.
However, it may need to be in, depending on how often we use this, it may need to be in the budget.
Mhm.
It'll depend on how we're doing all those,
That's true.
so.
And how open are you to us?
You might want to talk with Julie, find out what they usually have this space for.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
I would wait until the end of the year, and then, with this, it's not a matter of, you can lay it on us a week before, and we can probably have it ready for you, so it doesn't have to be agreed upon way far into this.
Right. So
So if
But-
something doesn't work out,
if we come out early to help you set up, would that be better?
yeah, I was gonna say,
Okay.
all we really had to do was set up the chairs, and
Uh-huh.
a couple tables, so it's a pretty easy setup.
Okay.
There's nothing that more of a setup right there.
Yeah, this is quite the road show, setting all this up, and it can be better. This was just what I could throw together tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can always use this for a backup, yeah, okay. And it is heated, just so you know.
Okay.
Got a furnace.
So if you can't hear, we're discussing at least a 1-week notification to use the space if we need to suddenly start using Tame Farm again. So, and then setup time's usually 10 minutes with the chairs. My time set up a little bit longer because of the equipment, but they are open to it. So,
Now it's a drive for a lot of people coming out.
yeah.
Where it's open, it's a backup.
How's your snow removal?
That might be an issue. We'll make sure it's good this year. I've got plenty of neighbors that
Okay.
So, I mean, if we're getting snow out here, you guys are probably gonna be.
We
worse
probably
off
will.
than this.
Yeah.
So we have to up here.
Yeah.
So I would say just do a virtual meeting if it's a snow day in Omaha. Snow day
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
She you brought up a good thing around snow, maybe snow days could we go back to virtual, because that always works. Virtual was-
That's true. So, at my job, it used to be if OPS had a snow day, you could wear jeans to work, right?
Right.
So it could be where if it's a snow day for OPS and it's the Friday of a meeting, it's virtual. Yeah, because that, I think that would work.
Yeah. Some people aren't driving, either up and all of that.
I got really spoiled not driving in the snow.
Yeah. I didn't miss it either. Even though I have a Subaru, so.
Well, so do I, but I still like not taking it out.
I really don't have anything else. So next meeting would
No
be,
discussion about elections next month.
oh, yes. Let's talk about elections. So, I will be running again for president. Thank you. Jordan, are you gonna run again probably?
She just started.
She just started. Wait, your term doesn't end at, no, wait. I'm just kidding.
If you wanna fire me, that's okay. I'll take it. If you're happy, I'll run again.
Gosh, that's not inclusive yet. Don't scare her away.
Yeah, I'll have to email the other elected officials and ask if they will continue.
And with the election, I have not attended a meeting with election. Is it all verbal? Yes.
Yeah.
No, we do secret.
Well, it depends. One person that runs like you guys are.
I didn't know.
So you can nominate yourself, or somebody could nominate you for a position. Okay. So generally we'll have we'll put up the list of the descriptions of the positions and the estimated time per month for each position. And we'll say whether they're open or not. So.
And usually the term runs a year.
It's a year, yeah, October to October. I think, is Mike still in there? Gallagher?
November to October.
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you running again for next year?
Probably.
Cool. So there's 3 so far.
Bill wants to be president.
I don't-
No.
Bill, Tom said that you wanted to be president.
No, I said president.
Present, oh, present. That's very clever of you.
Sometimes when there's more than one person, more than one candidate for an office, you set them up in the hall. And then.
And vote.
And then vote.
I think that's rare, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's not.
It doesn't happen.
I didn't know about that. So if there's 2 people for a position, they go out into the hall so that it can be voted in the room?
We've done it that way. We've done ballots and all.
Okay.
It just kind of varies.
Oh, okay.
Whatever looks good at the time. Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's just like little kids, you put your hand over your eyes and you say, you can't see me.
So everybody else can see.
Yeah, but that's hard to count in.
So yeah, it happens in October and it's a fun night.
In the 18 or so years that we've done it, I think there was only one time we asked the candidates to step out so we could vote. It's usually a slate of officers and we vote in the whole.
Yeah, I've seen that happen before where it's like everybody's running again, vote once and they're all in.
Yeah.
So That could happen too.
It's real complicated. you know.
But yeah, it'll be, I mean, we did it on Zoom that way last year. All voted for one. And then it worked. So. Let's see, anything else on that? No? Okay.
Kelly, are you gonna be back?
Okay.
I'll continue
Did we
being
hear a
backup
bing?
secretary.
Okay, let's check. It might be the chat. We're waiting for Zoom to come back here. No, it's just Bill. Okay. No questions? You got to show off your light again, Bill.
Hold on.
We'll end it on a party note with your color changing light bulb. Ooh.
Ah.
Okay, so our next meeting is on Friday, October 1st, UNO Durham Science Building, room 169, and Zoom. Is there a motion to adjourn the business meeting? Tom Wilson. Clete Baker seconds. The motion has been made and seconded to adjourn the business meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much.